my spicy friends. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a tier list I've made for the Pokemon Go December 2022 Community Day. I've posted a tier list for this on the Tier Maker website. You know, feel free to look this up on your own if you want to see it. I've decided that, there's a lot of ways you could rank all these Pokemon. There's quite a lot. I have decided to rank these Pokemon based off of their PvP relevance. And this is kind of all the Pokemon as a whole, so it's really about how much should you grind for these species in Pokemon Go PvP. I was thinking of doing this as a whole, like including PvE and all, but I feel like that would make it too complicated, and PvE is it's a lot simpler, I guess. Not really what I feel like this channel's about. Not really that interesting. So we are just going to dive right into the PvP potential of all of these Pokemon and their evolutions. So, for example, if we were going to go over something like Bulbasaur, we could consider its Venusaur in all three leagues, Bulbasaur in Little Cup, I guess Ivysaur in Great League, just like the entire species as a whole, I guess. Anyway, let's get started. Roggenrola as a whole is not good. It's kind of like Funny Spice in Great League when you max level 51, but Gigalith with Meteor Beam is not that great, although honestly I might make it D, just because Meteor Beam is genuinely a really good move. It's just that Gigalith and Roggenrola and Boldore are all pretty flawed Pokemon in just about every format. So yeah, that was a pretty simple start. Let's move on to Litwick here. Litwick I'm going to put in C tier, just because it is it has a bit of a niche in Great League. Well, not Great League. Little Cup, I want to say. Little Cup, Element Cup, or Little Cup Remix, or what have you. Litwick does see play, and Chandelure is a Spice Mon in Master League, so it's going to get C tier, just because you might want to get one or two, but if you already have a Chandelure for Master League, and you already have a Litwick for Little Cup, there's really not much reason to go after any of them, I would say. Dino is probably A tier, because Zweilous definitely has a niche in Great League in limited formats such as Halloween Cup, and even sees occasional play in Open. It's mostly been outclassed by Guzzlord these days, but you can still make it work. Hydreigon is pretty decent in Master League. So overall, I would say that these two, those two Pokemon alone, plus, can't forget about Dino and Little Cup too. That thing is a beast. Altogether, I would say this is definitely A tier material. The only reason it's not S tier is because you don't really need a Hydreigon for like every single league and format, or like you don't need a Zweilous for every single league too. So it is definitely a good Pokemon to grind for if you want to succeed in PvP. It's just not like the best. It's very good. Now, Bulbasaur is definitely an S-tier Pokemon to grind for in this format, because Bulbasaur, great in Little Cup, Ivysaur is okay in Great League, and Venusaur is really good in both Great League and Ultra League. So, Venusaur is not really good in Master League. Again, it's kind of fringe spice, but to be fair, the amount of Pokemon that are good in literally every single league is comically small. So if you ignore like Venusaur's Master League performance, I still think Bulbasaur is definitely worthy that S tier slot. I would say Dratini. Dratini is probably A tier, similar to Dino, where Dragonite is definitely better than Hydreigon in Master League. No question about it. It's like top tier, kind of broken in Master League Premier formats. Pretty solid in Master League. Okay in Ultra League and Great League. What was I gonna say here? Yes, Dragonair is very good in Great League, and Dratini is very good in Little Cup. So Dratini is definitely worth going out grinding for. I might actually make it S tier because the Dratini family is so good in so many leagues. Yeah, I gotta give respect for that. It is, you know, Dragonite is worth using in all 3 leagues alone, and it's not bad in any of them, I think. Just a great line overall. Mudkip, I don't think I need to explain why it's S tier. Mudkip and Marsh Stomp are... Mudkip is, like, not really that good in any format, not even Little Cup. Marsh Stomp is, like, niche in Great League. But Swampert is so good in all 3 leagues, I think it deserves S tier for that alone. Machop, Machamp is, good in all 3 leagues. Very good, I would say. The funny thing is that most of the time, the Community Day move itself is meh. It's fine. It's like a decent side grade. I would only put it A tier just because Machamp isn't super dominant in all 3 leagues. Like, it has play for sure. But its pre-evolutions like Machoke and Machop don't really do anything that great. Machop is funny spice. You know me, guys. You know I love shit like Great League Machop, but that is, I think A is a respectable and good slot for Machop. Eevee is probably S tier. Now the funny thing is, most of Eevee's evolutions are not that great. It's just that Umbreon is super good in Great League and Ultra League, so you really would want to grind Eevee for PvP for both of those. Like, Eevee as a whole, it has, I think Eevee just has a lot more potential, like, evolutions that are good in PvP than most other Pokemon. Like, Umbreon is definitely really good in Great League and Ultra League. I think Eevee itself does see some niche use in Little Cup formats. Vaporeon is niche in all 3 leagues, Great League, Ultra League, Master League. And there are a couple others that can see occasional use, like Great League Leafeon or something. Maybe. Not a whole lot of other good ones. But yeah, I would say that if you want, Eevee is a fantastic choice to grind for PvP. If you want to do that. Roserade, whatever, is probably a respectable B tier, just because Roserade does have use in all 3 leagues. I almost put Badoo on here, but I don't really know if you can grind that. Badoo is very solid in Little Cup as well. So the only reason it's not higher is because none of these Pokemon are really meta in any format. It's just that Badoo is pretty solid in Little Cup, and Roserade is pretty solid in the 3 main leagues. So we're just gonna leave it in B tier for now. Swablu is definitely S tier, I want to say. Maybe A tier. I'm kind of conflicted here. I would put it in A tier. Actually, wait, no, I changed my mind. Yeah, this is pretty tricky, guys. But I'm gonna go with S tier, and my reason for that is that Altaria is really, really good in Great League and does have use in Ultra League as well. It's a little spicier there, just because its stats aren't super high compared to everything else. But yes, it is good in both Great League and Ultra League. And if you want to get kind of spicy in formats where it's allowed, Mega Altaria is definitely one of the best Megas. It's actually, I think it's okay in all 3 leagues, the Mega Altaria anyway. I have not seen a whole lot of Master League players hype up Mega Altaria, but Dragon and Fairy is a very respectable typing. Now let's talk about Sandshrew, Kanto Sandshrew. I would put it in C tier. There are formats where it is genuinely really good. Well, let me think about this. It's pretty solid in Kanto Cup, which is just like one fringe league that I don't really think applies a whole lot here. It's fine. In Open Great League, it's all right. It's basically, it's really pretty hard to make an argument to use this in Great League whenever Galarian Stunfisk exists. But yeah, it's not bad. Duskull, let's go with I would go with B tier, because Dusknoir is pretty much useless in everything. But Dusclops is pretty good in Great League. Especially a lot of limited formats. It is one of the better. It is probably one of the best ghosts in the format, behind like Sableye. And it is worth grinding for PvP too, because it does acquire XL candies. So I would put it in B tier for sure. Shinx, I'm going to put it in C. I think the only time you'd ever use any Pokemon the Shinx line is like Luxray in Great League and Ultra League, and Psychic Fangs is a very good move to have on it. Psychic Fangs Wild Charge, very bait dependent, not the best, but it works. It works. You could do a lot worse. Gibble, let's put it in. I'm gonna put it in A tier. Garchomp is very good in Master League. Pretty much every Master League format, I believe, like both Master League and Master League Premier Classic. I run it on my Master League Premier Classic myself whenever the format comes up. I think the only reason this might not be higher is that Garchomp is like only good in Master League as a whole, which, let's be real, doesn't really matter all that much. And you don't really need Earth Power on it. Earth Power is a very good move, of course, but, you know, there are a lot of, Garchomp is a very flexible moveset, and you could make an argument for Dragon Tail, you know, Sand Tomb, Outrage being a good moveset as well. You don't really need the move, but Garchomp is very good in Master League, so I'm going to give it an A tier placement. Snivy is, I would put it also in A tier, because Serperior is actually pretty underrated in Great League. It does get up to Ultra League cap as well, but Ultra League is a lot more hostile to grasses than Great League, so it's understandably not as good. But if you want an Ultra League Snivy, Serperior, fuck, you're gonna have to grind for it. So it would be worth grinding for if you wanted to. Now this is probably going to be our first F tier. Wait, before I get to Tepig, I also want to add quickly that Servine is usable in Great League as well. It's basically just worse Serperior, but it's there, which kind of helps a little bit, I guess. Now, this might be our actual first F tier, which kind of hurts me to say because Emboar does have a pretty interesting moveset with, it gets access to fire, you know, fuck, what's the move I'm trying to think of right now? Blast Burn, yes, Blast Burn is great. It gets Ember, which is pretty solid, and Rock Slide, but its stat product and typing leaves a lot to be desired. It's really not that good in any format, although I might actually make it D tier, just because Tepig itself is pretty meta in some Little Cup formats. So Tepig itself, you want to get like one good you want to get like one good Little Cup Tepig, that's really all you need, although I personally think it wouldn't hurt to just like max like 1 or 2 Emboars just because they're so cheap and it might get a good move like Incinerate or Rollout down the line. But I really don't want to do any hypotheticals, whatever, when making this list. So, yeah, I would just, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Oshawott, probably B tier. I would say it's a similar situation to, Roserade, where you could make an argument for Samurott in all 3 leagues. It's not meta at all, but it can be used. It's kind of like a slight downgrade, side grade, whatever to Swampert. Swampert is definitely better, but you know, Mega Horn and Fury Cutter provide some interesting coverage for Water type. So I think that would be enough to. That would be an argument for making a Samurott for at least Great League and Ultra League and Master League if you feel like it. Talonflame is, well, Fletchling and Fletchinder are kind of pointless. Fletchinder is like a niche in Great League, and that's about it. Although Talonflame is really good in Great League and Ultra League, specifically with Incinerate. So I would definitely recommend grinding for this one. I think the only reason it's not S tier, as a matter of fact, is because it's not quite as amazing as something like Great League Altaria or Ultra League Altaria or like all different evolutions, or Bulbasaur or whatever, or Swampert. It's not as ubiquitous, but it is still a very good Pokemon to build for PvP. I'm not really ordering these, but this is probably one of like the best A tiers. Alolan Sanchu, another like niche Great League Pokemon. I think Alolan Sandslash does see some use in Great League and Ultra League, so I don't think you could really go wrong making a couple of these, maybe grinding some XL for fun. Alolan Sanchu does actually see use in some Great League formats if you max it out, so this is a solid one. It's not really meta-defining, but I would recommend going for it. Alolan Golem, Geodude line, whatever, it's all kind of mediocre. There are a couple of formats, like a couple of niche formats, like Holiday Cup, I would say, where Alolan Graveler and Golem really get the chance to shine. But overall, the whole line is kind of just mediocre and not really special for anything. I think that's really all I need to say about this one. Jumpluff, it's pretty good. Jumpluff is really good in Great League right now. Fairy Wind lets it throw out the Community Day move Acrobatics, which I kind of glossed over when the Community Day move happened because Acrobatics was too slow, but it's definitely improved thanks to Fairy Wind last season, so I would recommend building a Jumpluff and maybe a Little Cup Hoppip, because Little Cup Hoppip is pretty bulky, but other than that, don't worry about it too much. Spheal, this is probably still S tier for me, I can't lie. Walrein is still very, very good in Great League and Ultra League. I don't really think it has a niche in Master League anymore, but it doesn't really matter all that much. It's still very, very good. I think Celio does have a niche in Great League still, if you want to build that. Unfortunately, Little Cup Spheal isn't really worth going after, so you could just skip that one. But still, Icicle, Spear, Powder Snow, Walrein's impact on the lower two leagues, and occasional Spice in Master League, it's really good. I would go after it if you don't have one. Stuffle, beware, it's not, like, horrendous. I'm really kind of torn where to put this. I would put this, probably, like, high D tier. Because Beware is, actually, you know what, I'm just going to put it down in D tier. It's not, like, aggressively bad, but, man, this is, Beware is probably one of the worst fighting types in the entire game, I can't lie. It's pretty glassy. It, Power Up, Drain Punch is bad in, like, the bottom two leagues, maybe. I think it has, like, occasional niche use in Master League, but this Pokemon is not very good. Great League Stuffle's a funny meme. Ursaluna is solid in Master League, and Ursa Ring is a solid safe swap in Great League, which is the only reason I'm putting it in C tier for Teddiursa. Teddiursa's a funny Great League meme. There's really not a whole lot to elaborate on. I think if only they gave Ursaluna, like, you know, a good fast move like Shadow Claw, or they gave it Ice Punch, it could have easily been like B or A or even S tier if it got a golden moveset, but man, it got gimped pretty hard. Alright, final two Pokemon. I would say Obsidoon is A tier because it is very good. Actually, very good is kind of, that's an over-exaggeration. It's kind of okay in Great League. In Great League and Ultra League, it's kind of just a worse Scrafty. In Master League, it's niche, I think. I don't play a ton of Master League, but I've never heard a Master League player hyping up Obsidoon for months, so make of that what you will. Galarian Lanoon is kind of funny Great League Spice, I guess, but other than that, respectable Pokemon for PvP. Also, Obstruct is dog shit. Just wait until the event is over and then evolve it. Maybe evolve one just in case it gets buffed because it sucks so much, but this is one of those Pokemon you can easily skip the CD move for. And finally, last and probably least, we have Starly in F tier. Sorry, but Little Cup Starly, Great Leagues, Ultra League, Master League, Staraptor, whatever, it's all just kind of mediocre. And the worst part is, I don't even think you want the Community Day move anymore because Wing Attack and Quick Attack got buffed to the point where they outclass Gust. So, if you can't even get the Community Day move for this one, don't stress out about it. It's really not a big deal. Alright, my spicy friends, thank you for sitting with me through this tier list of all the PvP Pokemon worth grinding for the upcoming December Community Day. Take care, my friends, and remember, stay spicy.